Welcome back, artistic ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Wizard Wednesday Challenge episode in this Pokémon TCG Online series. Every Wednesday I create a deck from scratch without any testing, then I take that deck into the Versus ladder, play 5 battles with it. Alright, I'm back from the little break I took. It's time to continue to climb the Versus ladder. We have three more matches left to play. And the first of those 3 matches is going to be against Dragonitiro with a Darkness, a Lightning Up Psychic and a colorless deck. Can we take the win against this deck with our Togekiss, Raikou, Jolteon and Ampharos deck? Maybe we have to get out our Ampharos in this match. Maybe my opponent plays Jolteon-EX and then we have to get out our Ampharos. And let's hope we can use our Ampharos at least once in one of those 5 matches. Or one of the 3 matches that are still left, because I already played 2 matches in a previous video. We will start off with Togepi, so we start off with Togepi in the active spot. I'm probably going to attach to my Togepi just so I can retreat it in the next turn possibly. And I'm going to grab a Shaymin with my Ultra Ball. It looks like it's gonna be Manectric. Manectric versus Raikou. Maybe Manectric bats, that's maybe what we are up against. An N from my opponent. Never mind, I am not going to Ultra Ball for a Shaymin. We are going to grab ourselves a fresh new hand from this end, see what we can get. A Teammates, Jolteon, and another Togepi. And there's a Trainer's Mail. This is actually not as nice of a hand as we had before. Let's take a look at the Trainer's Mail. VS Seeker, no use for the VS Seeker for us, so we are just going to bench the Jolteon. And then we are going to bench the Togepi, attach an energy to our Jolteon and pass our turn. That's all we can do. I'm not going to attach to my Togepi just because I've got a backup Togepi right here. We will power up our Jolteon on the bench. A Spirit Link, there's a Spirit Link, so we will see the Mega Manectric. There's a Mega Manectric. Maybe it's Mega Manectric. I actually don't know. Mega Manectric with Darkness and Psychic. That's intriguing. What could the Darkness typing be? I wonder indeed. It could be Zoroark, I guess, but why would you play Mega Manectric with Zoroark? I think it's just a Mega Manectric Ho-Oh, that's what it looks like, because we see Water Energy, and there's a Sycamore discarding a VS Seeker, another Sycamore, and another N. Yeah, I believe this is Mega Manectric Ho-Oh. Oh, Water typing! I didn't see the Water typing in the loading screen, that's confused me there. So we are up against Mega Manectric Regice. That's what we are up against. We will promote our Jolteon just because we've got free retreat. Our Ampharos is gonna come in handy here to deal with the Regice if we can get it out. Togekiss might as well. Teammates here. Teammates for Raikou and a Togetic. I think I want to try to power up a Raikou here to deal with my opponent's Mega Manectric. So we will power up a Raikou. We'll grab a Raikou. We are going to bench the Raikou, evolve into our Togetic, and then evolve into our Togekiss. Hopefully we can get enough energies here from the Togekiss. All we need is 2 energies. That's all we really need for now. And we get 2 energies, yes, just enough here to attach to our Raikou. We'll hit for 110 damage against the Mega Manectric. The Mega Manectric cannot knock us out in 1 hit, so we are safe for now. We are going to retreat the Jolteon into the Raikou. Hit for a Thunder Lance for 110. A 2-hit knockout on this Mega Manectric. So my opponent will need to retreat into the Regice if he wants this Mega Manectric to stay alive. For now we bought ourselves a turn or 2. Oh no, never mind. There's a Rough Seas. We didn't buy ourselves any turn whatsoever because my opponent can heal up slowly but surely. And now we need another energy, I think, to hit for the 1-hit KO. Yeah, we need another lightning energy. Maybe we can top deck it. Maybe we can top deck a lightning energy to knock out this Manectric. There it is. 90 damage on our Raikou. We will heal up 30 damage of this 90 damage and an energy on the Regice on the bench. We get a Fighting Fury belt. I don't think that is actually helping us. Wait, actually it is. We will stay alive. We will actually stay alive here. Because we have 160 HP. 60 damage. Our opponent only hits for 90 at most. So we actually stay alive here with 10 HP left. That is fantastic. That Fighting Fury belt top deck. Whew, that was a nice top deck, and I'm not gonna lie there, that was definitely a nice top deck. Maybe we'll see a Lysander or something. No, just a Shauna from my opponent. Shauna going to reshuffle my opponent's hand here. Draw 5 cards. Unfortunately, no N for us. There's a Manectric and a Shaymin. Would have loved to see an N right there. But I guess my opponent didn't have a VS Seeker for an N. Even if he did, he probably wouldn't have gone for an N because Doesn't want to give us any more cards. Tool Retrieval is going to reuse that Spirit Link for the Manectric on the bench. Do we see anything else? Do we maybe see an attachment to the Manectric on the bench, or just a retreat into the Manectric to preserve the Mega Manectric? Nope, just a Turbo Bolt for 90 damage. We stay alive with 10 HP. That is just fantastic. We'll heal up 30 damage from this Raikou. Then we'll bench another Raikou. And we will hit for the knockout here. Hopefully we can get a draw supporter from the prizes, or a VS Seeker or something. Just something that can get us going here. We get a VS Seeker and a Togetic. Fantastic. That VS Seeker is a lifesaver. We can VS Seeker for Teammates, then Teammates for what's it called again? Devolution Spray, and we can also Teammates for a draw supporter, I think. The Mega Manectric is going to knock us out. The Regice is going to knock us out. We see a VS Seeker, possibly for an N. Oh no, my opponent is going to N us. We just had a very good hand. Why would he do that? Why would he think we have a good hand? We only had 3 cards there. But at least we have a VS Seeker for another Teammates. At least there's that. And an Ultra Ball even. We also get an Energy. Now we need Teammates for a Super Odds. And probably... what else do we need the Teammates for? A Fighting Fury Belt. So we can one-hit KO this Regice. I think that's what we want to do here. Teammates for a Super Odds and a Fighting Fury Belt. There's an Energy on the Mega Manectric. Resistance Blizzard for the KO for 50 damage. And a prize for my opponent. So now it's 4-4 in prizes. It is 4-4 in prizes. Alright, let's see what we get. A Sycamore. So I'm going to VS Seeker for a Teammates. And I'm going to Teammates for a Super Ult and a Fighting Fury Belt. Actually, no. I need to get a Devolution Spray. I need to get a Devolution Spray, and then I need to get a Super Odds. Why did I say a Fighting Fury Belt? I'm not sure. Where is our Super Odds? Here is our Super Odds. So we will grab a Super Odds. Yes, this is what we need to go for. We need to get 3 energies then from the Togetic. If we Devolution Spray here, we need to get 3 energies from it. So we'll attach an energy to the Raikou to get the one-hit KO on that Regice. Then we will Super Ult back 3 energies in our deck. And then we are going to Devolution Spray our Togetic. I might just Ultra Ball for Shaymin as well. Might just Ultra Ball for Shaymin here. Just to draw into some more cards. Can we get 3 energies? We get 2 energies, then it's not enough. So we will Ultra Ball for Shaymin. Try to find a Fighting Fury Belt from that Shaymin. Maybe if we are lucky we can... No, we cannot set up another... We cannot set up another Togekiss, but we might be able to find our second Devolution Spray. That might be a possibility. So we'll grab a Shaymin here, draw into a couple more cards. Hopefully find what we need to get this one-hit KO. That is going to be huge if we can do that. We get an energy and a Fighting Fury Belt. There it is. That is the KO. We get a Fighting Fury Belt. Alas, we are left without a hand once again, but we can grab a Togepi and then evolve into a Togetic in the next turn. At least there's that for us. And a concede from my opponent. My opponent concedes the match. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. This is the 3rd win in a row here with Raikou Togekiss. Despite having a terrible start, we pressured my opponent into conceding for some reason. That is unbelievable. Wow, 350 damage dealt versus 340 for my opponent. Raikou MVP versus Mega Manectric EX, but the real MVP here, the real MVP is Togekiss, that is for sure. The real MVP is Togekiss. Let's see if we can find ourselves our 4th opponent of today, or the 2nd opponent for this video. Our next opponent is Omar Guti with a colorless, a grass and a psychic deck. I believe this is going to be Vespiquen Vileplume. Vespiquen Vileplume, I think it is indeed. This could actually be our first loss here. If my opponent goes first and gets an item lock going, I'm not sure what we are going to do about that. That is going to be a troublesome match for us. We lost the coin flip, yes. My opponent is going to go first, of course, because he wants to set up an item lock. Oh my goodness. We start off with a Shaymin. Of all things, we start with the Shaymin. We have Fighting Fury Belts, but most likely we won't be able to use them if my opponent can get the Vileplume going. My opponent starts off with a Mulligan. That's interesting. A Mulligan with a Vespiquen Vileplume deck. You don't see that too often. And there he goes. He does find his basic this time around. Hopefully it's an unknown or something. We get an N and it's an Oddish. So my opponent will need to find a Floatstone here to attach to the Oddish. There's the first of Giant Plants straight away. A Level Ball for a Combi. Yes, there's a Combi. So my opponent is off to a fantastic start here. Has the 3 pieces that he needs straight away. The first of Giant Plants, the Oddish and the Combi. All he needs now is a DCE. And then just a lot of item cards so that he can use all of his item cards, or as many of his item cards, and then item lock us, so that we are stuck with a deck full of item cards. And he has a deck which is thinned out, doesn't have too many item cards. A Battle Compressor, 3 Pokemon in this card pile. The Vespiquen is hitting for 50 damage right now. 6 more Pokemon and it will be a knockout on our Shaymin. There's a Floatstone already as well. Jesus. That is truly a fantastic starting hand for my opponent. He finds the Floatstone straight away. Hopefully he misses out on the Vileplume here. We get not a very good hand. We don't get a basic Pokemon for our bench. There's the Vespiquen, Floatstone on the Shaymin. And a pass of the turn, we do get a turn of item cards. I cannot believe it, we get a turn of item cards. Alright, let's get going here. We are going to discard an energy. Then we are going to grab our Togepi here. We need to get our Togepi going. We'll take a look at his trainer's mail, see what we can get from the trainer's mail. A Level Ball, don't mind if I do. I'm going to grab another Togepi here. We are going to grab, maybe I'm going to discard this Togepi just to thin out my deck, or I will actually discard. No, I'm gonna keep the Togetic. I'm gonna discard one Togepi. No, maybe not. I think I will bench it instead. We are going to attach an energy to our Shaymin. I'm gonna bench 2 Togepi just so we have an availability or the option to evolve into 2 Togekiss. Then I'm going to use my Super Rod, because otherwise I will have to discard it with my Sycamore. And we shall Sycamore our entire hand away. Draw into 7 more cards, thin out our deck a little bit. There's a Shaymin, a Togetic, fantastic. All we need now is an Ultra Ball here. A Lysander is also good. I will grab a Lysander. And unfortunately we have to end our turn here, but at the very least we have some options for the next turn. We could possibly Lysander another Shaymin if my opponent benches another Shaymin, so we'll end our turn. I think I might just retreat into my Togepi, or maybe not. Do I want to give my opponent an easy 2 prizes? Actually, I don't think so. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sacrifice 1 Togepi. I know I said I wanted to get 2 Togepis so we can evolve into 2 Togetics, 2 Togekiss, but we still have 1 more Togepi left. And I think it's important that we do not give our opponents easy prizes straight away. A trainer's mail from my opponent. In the next turn, I'm definitely going to evolve into my Togetic. I don't think I'm going to bench the Shaymin. I might just Sycamore my hand away. Would love to top deck a Raikou so I can attach this energy to a Raikou. Raikou is going to be fantastic against my opponent's deck. Jolteon not so much, Ampharos not so much either, and Lugia not so much either. A Sycamore from my opponent. I think this time he will get out the Vileplume. I would be quite surprised if he fails to get out the Vileplume. Another turn here. Battle Compressor is going to discard maybe another Gloom, probably another Oddish though, another Oddish, maybe 2 more Oddish, a Gloom, and maybe the Vileplume, so my opponent can use the Revitalizers to get them back. It discards Unknowns. That is a strange option to go for, because Unknowns are useful for my opponents, whereas the Oddish is not. Be Revenge for the knockouts for 100 damage. That would actually not have been a knockout on our Shaymin. I cannot believe that. Well then. I'm going to promote my Togepi. Maybe not. Whatever we promote, we need to retreat it. So let's go with our Togepi for now. We are going to try to get out a Raikou here. A Super Rod. Well, let's evolve into the Togetic. Let's attach an energy. Then let's Super Rods, because I'm going to discard my entire hand. Am I going to do that? Or am I going to end? No, I don't think I'm going to end. My opponent seems to have a pretty bad hand, so we are going to Super Rod back a Togepi and an energy. Then we'll discard this entire hand. I could bench a Shaymin, maybe I will, just to see if I can get a basic Pokemon. Don't want to get any energies. Well, actually I don't mind. Yeah, actually I do mind. And we draw 2 energies. Are you freaking kidding me? Well, I will have to discard these energies. I draw 2 energies off of the Shaymin. That is truly terrible. We get Raikou, we get Fighting Fairy Belt. However, we don't get anything else that we need, so I might just have to promote my Jolteon here. Retreat into my Jolteon with the free retreat. I'm going to get back an N. And I'm going to get back a Listener as well. No need for the VS Seekers because my opponent is going to item lock us. Despite my opponent having a bad start, we don't seem to be able to do anything just because we have a bad start ourselves. Actually a really bad start. Normally at this point in the game I have at least 1 Raikou ready to go, but I just can't seem to get it going. Just can't seem to get it going for some reason here. Especially because we draw very badly from our Shaymin and from our draw supporters. I drew those 2 energies, I still cannot believe it. What are the odds of that? And another Vespiquen comes out. Does my opponent have enough Pokemon in the discard pile? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, that's 120 damage. Grabs the Gloom. Now we might see the item lock. So we need to deal with 2 Vespiquens at the very least. My opponent doesn't have any DCEs in the discard pile, I think. Yes, no DCEs. An Ultra Ball is going to go for another Shaymin. Discards a Battle Compressor. That's a weird option. But he didn't have a choice, I think, because he wanted to go with the Ultra Ball for the Shaymin. He is trying to find his Vileplume here. That's what he's trying to find. 1 Vileplume in the discard pile, so he can just get the Revitalizer, use the Revitalizer to get back the Vileplume. And Ultra Ball, here we might see the Vileplume come out. Luckily we have a Listener. We can Listener stall by Licenering out Shaymin. That is a possibility for us. Will we stay alive? I think we stay alive here. And a Judge for the next turn for my opponent. My opponent is going to Judge in the next turn. Be Revenge. We stay alive. We get another turn here to try to power up our Raikou. Can we find the Togekiss? That's the question. Am I going to N? That's another good question. N or Sycamore? N or Sycamore? I think I need to preserve my Togetic, so I am going to N. I could Listener, but we really need to try to find our Togekiss. And we do not find it. Fantastic, we do not find it. Alright then. Well, let's retreat into our Lugia. And see if our opponent can knock out our Lugia then maybe. Well, let's end our turn. Definitely no luck whatsoever here in this match. No luck whatsoever. I might have just to Sycamore away 2 Fighting Fury Bells. A Listener on our Raikou. Oh no, on our Jolteon. Interesting. And a Be Revenge for the knockouts. My opponent is down to 3 prizes, but if we deal with 2 Vespiquen, we might be fine because there's 2 Vespiquen in my opponent's discard pile. I need to promote my Raikou here. I need to go with the Raikou. I just need to hope I can find my Togekiss. The Devolution Spray, never mind. Sycamore it is, discarding this entire hand. Where is our Togekiss? There's a Togekiss and 3 energies. No, we don't want to see so many energies. Well, all we need is 1 energy actually. All we need is 1 energy from this Togekiss. We'll grab this energy, and it is also only 1 energy. It is only 1 energy. And then let's attach an energy. Let's bench another Togepi. And let's attack, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and that's 100 damage. That is not enough even if I knock out this Vespiquen. That's 120 minus 20. We definitely stay alive here in the next turn. Unless my opponent can Battle Compress or Sycamore some more Pokemon in the discard pile, we should stay alive and we will be able to deal with that Vespiquen. Possibly take the game. Possibly take the game indeed. Interesting. Because my opponent cannot use a Super Rod. He cannot get out any more Vespiquens. It's kind of odd that he did not discard more Oddish and more Glooms. Instead, he discarded Vespiquens. Does bench an Unknown? I think that's Yes, the third unknown, because he discarded 2 unknowns before. There's a Combi, but we know he doesn't have any more Vespiquen, so what is that Combi going to do? Alright, he attaches to the Shaymin, is going to Sky Return at some point. And just to be revenge for 110 damage, the Shaymin can Sky Return, but that is not a knockout either. We will stay alive even if the Shaymin Sky Returns. We get an energy. Let's put this energy on our Lugia. Let's also heal up a little bit. We will heal up with the Rough Seas. This way my opponent can never knock us out unless he benches a Forest of Giant Plants. A knockout on this Vespiquen for 120 damage. And I think we've got the game here. We are actually coming back unless my opponent somehow benches a Bunnelby. Then we need to deal with the Bunnelby. I have a teammates here. I can grab my Lysander from these teammates. We are out of draw supporters. All of our draw supporters are in the discard pile. So we need a VS Seeker for a draw supporter. And then before we can use our VS Seeker, we need to knock out this Vileplume. That's our only way to get a draw supporter to draw through our deck a little bit more. A Judge from my opponent. Actually, don't mind the Judge. We might find a Togetic and another Togekiss. I would love to get back the teammates though. And there's the Togetic, an Ultra Ball for the Togekiss, and energy on the Shaymin. He doesn't find a Forest of Giant Plants, so this Sky Return is not going to do anything to us. 10 damage because we have the Shining Body ability, promotes the Combi. I think my opponent should know it by now. This is GG. We are going to Lysander the Shaymin. Definitely Lysander the Shaymin here. Attached to our Lugia. Get rid of that DCE from my opponent. Prevents a Shaymin loop. Weakness 240 damage. We take 2 more prizes. That is it. We are down to 2 prizes. My opponent still has 3 prizes to take. I think we have the game here. I think we have the game. I don't see what my opponent can do unless, well, except for benching a Bunnelby. Maybe I should have kept my Lysander for the Bunnelby. That might have been too risky of me there to go for the Shaymin. But all we need to do is knock out my opponent's Shaymin. That's all we need to do. We will heal up a little bit more. I'm going to keep this energy in my hand. You never know, my opponent might Lysander out our own Shaymin or our Togekiss. We want to retreat it into our Raikou if that is the case. A knockout on the Combi for 120 damage. What do we get from the prizes? A Devolution Spray. Not that we can use it, but still nice to get. You never know. My opponent might AZ up the Vileplume or something. There is a Shaymin. It's going to hit us for 10 damage. We have nearly healed up our Raikou. Sky Return of the Shaymin is going to promote the Vileplume. All we need to do is attach an energy and take a knockout on the Vileplume. That's all we need to do here. Fantastic stuff. We take the win against Vespiquen Vileplume with our Raikou Togekiss deck. I cannot believe it. If you would have told me this at the start when we had that bad hand, I would have not believed you. But this just shows never give up on the Pokemon TCG Online. You never know what happens and what kind of decisions might influence the final outcome, like my opponent's decision to discard Vespiquens. That definitely came to bite him in the ass. Let's see, let's take a look at the stats. Raikou MVP versus Vespiquen, 740 damage dealt versus 470 from my opponent. We actually did more damage than Vespiquen, which is pretty impressive. Alright, 4 wins so far, 4 wins out of 4 games. Let's move into the 5th game and see if we can continue this streak. The last opponent of the day is going to be G Vasquez 16 with a colorless fighting and a psychic deck. Hopefully it's not fighting typing as the main attacker here, because we've been up against the fighting deck 2 times already. We did one twice, but I want to face some other kind of decks. I don't want to face fighting decks, and I think we are actually up against the fighting deck. My opponent is playing with fighting sleeves, a fighting deck box. And luckily we start off with a level ball, so we can look for our Togepi in our first turn. We are going to go first as well, which is fantastic. I'm not sure how useful the Jolteon is going to be. If this is Zygarde-EX, it could be pretty useful, except for when my opponent gets out the Carbon Break. Then we need to promote our Raikou and deal with the Carbon Break with our Raikou, because the Carbon Break can do damage to our Jolteon. What can we get here from the top deck? And it is Zygarde, so we are going to attach to our Jolteon, we are going to grab our Togepi, and then we are going to N. That is what we are going to do. We are going to go for an N, try to find a Togetic for the next turn, and maybe just a Raikou as well. I would love to bench a Raikou. I would love to bench another Togepi as well. There's a Togetic and a level ball for another Togepi. We have 2 Togetic in our hand, which is just fantastic, which gives us the flexibility or the possibility to get out 2 Togekiss in the next turn. We have 2 Togekiss in our deck. We have 1 more level ball. Do we have any Ultra Balls? 2 Ultra Balls. Alright, so not the maximum amount of Ultra Balls, but it's still a pretty decent chance for us to find at least one Togekiss. Let's end our turn right here. In the next turn, we should be capable of powering up this Jolteon-EX to deal with the Zygarde. The Zygarde can hit for a bit of damage here against our Jolteon-EX, but it shouldn't be a one-hit KO. Unless he finds a Muscle Band and a strong Stadium, I think, then it can be a one-hit KO. Maybe I should have retreated my Jolteon-EX. I might have been a little bit too opportunistic here by leaving my Jolteon in the active spot against this Zygarde. An Ultra Ball for Shaymin. It is Zygarde with bats, which is pretty interesting. The bats can definitely damage our Jolteon as well. Luckily we have our Rough Seas. There's a Shaymin. Can my opponent find a Fighting Stadium? He needs a Fighting Stadium to do decent amounts of damage here. Land Pulse can then hit for quite a bit of damage. Fighting Fury Builds. So now the Zygarde has 230 HP and a Land Pulse for 60 only, which is not so impressive. We get another energy. Let's attach to our Jolteon. Let's evolve into the Togetic and the Togetic, and then we are going to go for another N. I would have loved to go for a Sycamore here, but unfortunately we do not have a Sycamore in our discard pile, so and it is not going to bench the Ampharos. Ampharos is of no use against my opponent's deck. And there is the Togetic, the Togekiss. I keep messing him up. We also get the Raikou. I'm going to bench the Raikou, and let's see, all we need is 1 energy off of this Togekiss. Please do not let us down. And we get 3 energies. That is just fantastic. So we are going to attach 1 energy to our Jolteon and then 2 energy to our Raikou. I think I might just put a Fighting Fury Belt on my Jolteon because of those bats. Don't want to deal with the bats, so we are going to Fighting Fury Belt the Jolteon and hit for a Flash Ray, prevent any damage done to this Jolteon by the Zygarde in the next turn. This is going to be a 3-hit knockout. We deal 80 damage per turn. That's 160 in the next turn and then 240 in a turn after that. Unless my opponent heals up with the Cell Storm, then it's actually going to be a 4-hit KO. A Super Scoop Up is going to scoop up the Zygarde. That is interesting. My opponent promotes the Zubat, but we are a Lightning type, so we knock out the Zubat in 1 hit, even if it evolves into a Crobat somehow. A Fighting Fury Belt on the Shaymin and a Muscle Band on the Zygarde, as well as a Professor Birch. I'm not sure what my opponent is trying to do now. He's just trying to preserve his Zygarde, I think. Startling Megaphone gets rid of our Fighting Fury Belt. Bummer. And there is the Golbat with the Sneaky Bite. Can we find our Rough Seas? That's the question right now. Can we find a Rough Seas? I'm tempted just to retreat into my Raikou, but maybe I should not do that, because then the Zygarde can... my opponent can use a Lysander and a Zygarde in the same turn. Ooh. My opponent promotes the Carbink, so I actually have to retreat if I want to attack here. And I think I will. I am going to end and retreat into my Raikou. Knock out this Carbink with my Raikou. Do I want to end? I don't think my opponent has a Lysander right now, so maybe not. Maybe I don't want to end. Maybe I just want to promote my Raikou. In the next turn, I can teammate for a Rough Seas and a Fighting Fury Belt for my Jolteon. So we will knock out the Carbink. 110 damage right there. And what can we get from the prizes? It is a Sycamore, fantastic Sycamore. And there is a Zygarde. We have to pray here. We have to pray that my opponent doesn't have a Lysander, a Headringer on the Jolteon, and a strong energy on that Zygarde. And there is the Lysander. My opponent did have the Lysander. Are you freaking kidding me? My opponent did have the Lysander. How is that even possible? Discards 3 energies and our Jolteon. I cannot believe that. That was actually really lucky for my opponents. I mean, come on now. That is just so lucky. Oh, I cannot believe that. We will Super Odds and we are going to teammates. Definitely going to teammates. I'm going to teammates for a Togekiss and actually a Devolution Spray at the same time here. That's what I'm going to do. Maximize my chances of powering up this Raikou for a 1-hit KO. We have 8 energy in our deck, so we should stand a decent chance. We'll grab this Devolution Spray and a Togekiss. Oh, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. What do we do first? We shall evolve into our Togekiss first. How many energies can we find? 1 energy only. No, that is not good. We need so many energy here. We need so many freaking energy. So let's devolve our Togekiss. If only we had thinned out our deck a little bit more before. Please, 4 energies, please. 2 energies, that is not enough. We are going to be 1 energy short if we find an energy from the Shaymin. 7 times 20 is 140, plus 50, that's 190. Actually, we only need 1 energy. I was mistaken there, I was mistaken. All we need is 1 energy. Please do not let us down, Shaymin. And we can actually grab another Shaymin, so we are not yet let down. I'm going to discard the N and the Sycamore and grab my other Shaymin. It's not in our deck. It is not in our deck. Are you freaking kidding me? The Shaymin is not in our deck. Man, this is just so much bad luck for us. That is truly so much bad luck. I cannot believe that. I can hardly believe that. So instead, I'm going to retreat into my Togekiss and let my opponent knock out the Togekiss. That's what I'm going to do. I think my opponent will not have another Listener. Could have a VS Seeker, but I'm going to risk it. Yep, I'm going to risk it. So we will retreat into the Togekiss, give my opponent a knockout on the Togekiss, and that way we can shuffle it back in the next turn. Hopefully evolve into the Togekiss once again to power up our Raikou and get that one-hit KO. A Lucario right there, and an energy on the Lucario. Level Ball for probably a Golbat. Yes, there's a Golbat, which is okay. Evolves into the Golbat. Is going to put 20 on our Raikou, which tells me it does not have the VS Seeker. And we see the knockout on our Togekiss. Fantastic. Alright, no Listener this turn. That was risky for sure, but I think it was definitely worth it, seeing as how it played out. Time to shuffle back the Togetic and the Togekiss and 1 energy. And then I think we shall Teammates once again. I'm going to Teammates once more. Yes, we are going to VS Seeker for Teammates. And then we are going to Teammates for the Togetic and the Togekiss. That is what we are going to do here. And we now should definitely be able to power up our Raikou. I think if we fail to power it up now for the one-hit KO, we just have so much bad luck. So much bad luck indeed. Togekiss to the rescue. Come on, can we do it? Yes, 2 energy. That is just enough. All we need to do now is pray that our Raikou stays alive in the next turn. That's all we need to do. Thunderlance for the knockouts. 190 on the Zygarde. And just like that, the field has evened out. An Ultra Ball and a Shaymin. There is a Shaymin that we needed before. There is our Shaymin that we needed before. A Zubat, can my opponent find an energy? And a Scoop Up is going to scoop up possibly the Golbat, but does not scoop it up. And another Scoop Up, or the Shaymin actually, and it fails. So we will stay alive thanks to the Scoop Ups failing. That is very bad luck from our opponent. We are going to knock out this Lucario. That was so lucky for us, what just happened there. That was so lucky. I'm going to Devolution Spray my Togekiss once more, I think. Maybe not. We want to keep that Devolution Spray for later on. For now, let's just Shaymin. Let's bench our Shaymin and see what else we can find. Can we maybe find an energy to attach manually to our Raikou? Yes, we do find another energy, so we will power up the Raikou on our bench, and then we will just end, I think. Do we want to end? No, we don't want to end. We don't want to give our opponent a fresh hand, so we will just hit for the knockout. A stroke of luck is going to save us. If either of those Scoop Ups were ahead, my opponent would have been able to pick up the Shaymin and find an energy, I think. Now he's just left with the Golbats. That's all he's left with. If he can find 2 Crobats, he can knock out our Raikou. But then we will be able to respond for a knockout with the Raikou on our bench, I think. He did not take the Sycamore, which is pretty lucky. So it's the luck is going back and forth between my opponent and me. First I was unlucky, then my opponent was unlucky, and now my opponent is lucky. He does knock out our Raikou. Look at that. Now my opponent is lucky. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, let's promote the other Raikou. My opponent still needs to take 2 prizes here. All we need to do is knock out his Crobats. That's all we need to do. A Golbat comes down. I think he will retreat into the Carbink, to be honest. And Max Elixir possibly onto the Carbink. Nope, the Max Elixir fails. An energy onto the Carbink, but the Carbink cannot attack. If he had attached that other energy, we would have gotten hit for 60 times 2 is 120. Minus 20 is 100, which would have been a knockout on our Raikou. So we do escape there from the knockout. Can we find an energy retrieval from this Trainer's Mail? Let's first thin out our deck a little bit. Let's get out another Togepi. If we have it, no we do not. Do we have anything left in our deck? I might as well discard the Togetic and the Ampharos. Yes, we have a Lugia. I'm going to grab the Lugia, get out that Lugia, just to thin out my deck. Then we're going to Trainer's Mail. What can we find from the Trainer's Mail? It is an energy recycler. That is what we needed to see. An energy retrieval is what I said, I think, but I meant the energy recycler. Shuffle back 5 energies into my deck. And then we shall Devolution Spray our Togekiss. Get some of these energies back. Hopefully get them back and attach them to our Raikou. Moment of truth here. Can we close out the game? All we need is 2 energies. Even 1 energy is good, and we do get it, because if we get 1 energy we can still end and hope that we get 1 energy from the end. So we are going to attach here to our Raikou and close out the game. Close out the game, take the 5th win of the day here with Raikou Togekiss. It is the first time ever in the history of Wizard Wednesdays that I take 5 wins in a row with the Wizard Wednesday deck. A deck that was created without any testing, that was created in 20 minutes or so, or 25 minutes, and it managed to take 5 wins. I think that is pretty impressive. I gotta tell you, this deck was so much fun. This is one of the most fun Wizard Wednesday decks I have played with so far. My goodness, I cannot believe this. This is just a mind-blowing Wizard Wednesday episode. 700 damage dealt versus 560 from our opponent. Raikou MVP versus Zygarde EX. Another fighting deck that loses to Raikou. To be honest, the last game was a bit lucky. It was a lucky win. We could have lost the game at several points there, but the fairy of luck was on our side this game, and I am not going to complain about that. Not going to complain at all. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed the 5 wins with Togekiss and Raikou. Subscribe to my channel for more Wizard Wednesday episodes. I hope you have a truly carp-tastic day and that you have as much luck as I did in this last match. And I will see you on Friday with a fun Friday episode.
Karp, 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 Karp. Karp, 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 Karp.